Hey, 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 it is May 19th, Friday Night Leadership, 8 p.m. Central on the dot. Man, I am so fired up for today's Friday Night Leadership. Some incredible things have happened over the last few weeks here, and it's just amazing, all the things that we're learning. And I really feel like in order to take advantage of a Friday Night Leadership like this, we need to be in a quiet location without distractions. You know, if there's anything cuter in the room than you probably need to remove it. So that means dogs, cats, whatever the animal, and all your kids, so that we can take full advantage of this amazing Friday Night Leadership. My mentor always told me to have a journal. From day one in this industry, I had a journal because I am a firm believer that your mind can't always remember the things that you want to remember. So write down everything that you hear in your journal, and let's all just go out and get a really nice leather-bound journal, not something where the pages can flip out. This is valuable information, and we want to make the most of it. So my mentor also always told me that whoever takes the most notes is going to make the biggest impact. So I challenge everyone on this call to have a writer's cramp after you guys get done so that we can write down all the valuable information. You never know what piece of information might unlock your success goal. So make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you have your journal. And last but not least, you don't want your team to miss out on this. You want to make sure that you have every single team member that is interested or semi-interested or isn't working the business or is working the business. I don't care who it is. Get them on this Friday Night Leadership call because, like I just said, this one leadership may just be that one little combination that they're missing to unlock their success goal. Don't let anybody miss the training. I'm so fired up, you guys, because we are being personally mentored by a man that is incredible, somebody that has over 21 years of experience in the industry of relationship marketing, and it really is just a blessing to be able to have him to share with us his little bits and pieces of knowledge that he's gained over the last several years. And so, you know, without further ado, I definitely want to bring up to the call somebody who is my husband's mentor, my mentor. Not only that, but he's a friend, he's a leader, he's a father, he's a husband. He's an all-round, very well-rounded person. I really respect him. So let's give him all the attention that we can. Get your pen and papers ready. Mr. Timothy Herr, I'll welcome you to the call.
You know what, Miss Alyssa, I'm right now. I'm really excited. I love what you share because it's so important to really take the most and really get the most out of this tonight's Friday Night Leadership. You know, and I think that you said it so well, and I'm so excited. Miss Alyssa, to get a chance to really make an impact on people's lives. I know right now there's so many people right now that are getting started with the core global team here, and there's so many people right now that are getting started, and it's so important to make sure that all these people that are getting started are having the success really that they dream of. You know, most of the people right now that are getting started, obviously, that's the biggest thing that we've got to focus on is getting them trained. And my mentor told me from the very beginning when I got started in this industry, Ms. Jordan, 21 years ago, he told me, he said, hey, look, you know what, the best trained team is going to win. So I've always been a big believer in training people and developing people and really helping people tap into their potential. But I want to dive into tonight's topic. And I think the biggest thing I want to talk about here to set the tone for everything that we're doing is understanding the fact that you want to keep the main thing, meaning that, the reason why we get involved in this business, your why is going to be your bridge over troubled waters, why you're doing this business. And my mentor told me, to start listening to Jim Rohn. And when I started to study Jim Rohn, and I got a chance to meet him on a few occasions and speak with him on the phone before he passed away a few times. And one of the things Jim Rohn always said, he says, the promise of the future is an awesome force to affect your life every day. He said, without a future well designed, we take hesitant steps. And all you have to do is really to take hesitant steps for 6 years, and you'll be timid, driven into a small corner, not boldly willing to go out and take your portion and be able to take your share. And so, you've got to really have that backbone in place and say, look, you know what, I'm going to make my goals and dreams become a reality. And that's really understanding and keeping the main thing. But I want to give everybody a glimpse of the big picture, because I know a lot of you right now, everybody's getting started. There's so many brand new people getting started. I want to show everybody the big picture and really the power of building two teams. Because right now, everybody knows you guys are all obviously, everybody's an agent. And right now, everybody realizes the fact that, we're building two teams. We're in a binary compensation plan. and you can earn up to 10 to 15% team commissions on that commissionable volume. So I like to show people the power of two. You know, as you get two people started and those teams start to grow, it starts to grow like wildfire through a dry brush field once you start following the core global system. Once you follow the core global system and you commit to following the core global system, which we'll break down tonight, guess what, right? You're going to be able to set up to win like never before. So the power of two, you know, if you introduce the business to two people and then they introduce the business to a handful of people and then, you know, it's four, and you guys know how the power of numbers works, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 1, you know, 256, 512, right? You know, 1,024, 2,000, you know, 48, 4,096. You know, if you were just to do that, you're talking about over 8,100 agents on your team just by following the power of two. And we're going to break it down here today on how to build, you know, this organization and help you win big. So if your first team, let's say for instance, had 10 agents with 10 monthly VIP customers, and the other team had 20 agents with 10, you know, VIP monthly customers, guess what? Right, that would put you at $900 a month residual income that would come in month after month. And you know, if you built a team of 100 agents and 200 agents that did the same thing, now guess what? Right now you're at $9,000 a month in residual income. Now imagine what your life would look like at $9,000 a month. I mean, how many things in your life, you know, could change as a result, right? As a result of making $9,000 a month. Now, you know, if you were to build a team of 1,000 agents and 2,000 agents and taught them obviously how to go out and get 10 monthly VIP customers, guess what? Now you get $90,000 a month. Now I don't want anybody thinking about making $90,000 a month right now. Just focus in on making maybe $9,000 a month. And once you get to $9,000, then you'll be able to see a little bit further. But just imagine what your life could look like. Imagine the vacations that you'd take, right? Imagine maybe the family members that you could retire. Maybe imagine, you know, maybe retiring, you know, your wife and adding years to her life. Maybe retiring your husband and adding years to his life. You've got to find that what's going to motivate you, that's going to drive you. So I just want to show everybody the big picture on what's available. Obviously, if you put the effort, energy, and it takes work, you know, and you know, hey, guess what? We're going to be working anyway. So bottom line is, why not work for ourselves and our goals and dreams? So I want to get into to getting people started the right way, right? To start, you know, you start successful. My mentor told me, says, hey, guess what, Tim? You got to start successful to be successful. And this is something, Alyssa, I love to talk about because this really helps everybody understand how important it is to get started. Everybody knows that there's really 3 packages, but you know, when you get started as an agent, obviously, you know, you're going to want to pick a package, right? And there's 3 different packages. Now, the first package is the 5 and 5 starter set. Now, this is for customers. This is not for anybody that really wants to build a business, right? If you know, this is not the package for somebody that wants to make money, right? Because you're not superstar eligible when you get this package. So you want to make sure that obviously when you understand that, you know, that is a package that is there, but it's really not. Just kind of for customers. It's not really for people that want to build a business. But the Wow Set, this is the most popular package, incidentally. It's perfect for builders, right? If you're a business builder and you really want to make it happen, it's a perfect package for anybody that really wants to build a business, right? Because when you get this package, it comes with $300 worth of total personal volume, so you're actually, you know, superstar eligible, SSE, when you get this package. And obviously, the biggest package, it's my personal favorite, is the professional set. A lot of people like this package because it really helps them it really helps them earn as much income as they possibly can. And it's perfect for professionals, right? It's the perfect package for anybody who wants to maximize their income earning potential. Automatically, obviously, you're super eligible with that. But you also, guess what's going to happen? Now you're going to earn 50% higher team commissions for your first 12 weeks. You're going to get paid as a bronze. So what that means is instead of making 10%, you're going to make a full 15%. Right, so you unlock your full earning potential with this when you get this package. 25%, guess what? Higher customer commissions, right? Because you're obviously be paid as rank as a bronze, and obviously you're going to earn your 20% check match as well. And we'll talk more about that, obviously, you know, next week on our Friday night leadership. But I want to get into, you know, understanding. Hey, look, you know, when you get started in the business, when you help people get started with a package, guess what? Right, the company says, hey, look, you know what? You did a great job helping somebody get started. What they say, Alyssa, and I love this, is they say, hey, you know what? Since you've done a great job of helping somebody get started, helping them pick a package, you're going to get the opportunity, guess what? You're going to get a little fast start bonus for doing that. So if you help, you know, somebody get started with a 5 and 5 set, you know, basically, you know, if somebody wants to become a customer and do that. Now, obviously, most people, whenever they become a customer, they want to become a VIP customer. But guess what, right? If somebody gets a 5 and 5 set, you know, when you're active, right, and you're a star, you're going to make a $20 bonus, right? When somebody gets a Wow set, you're going to make a $50 bonus. And when somebody gets a Pro set, you're going to make a $150 bonus. Now, once you unlock your superstar, once you become a superstar, and I'm going to talk about what that looks like in a second, but when you become a superstar and above, when somebody gets started with a 5 and 5 set, guess what? Now you're going to earn a $40 bonus, right? When somebody gets started with a wow set, bam, you're going to earn a $100 bonus, right? When somebody gets started with a pro set, guess what? Right, you're going to earn a $300 bonus. So $300. Now let me explain to you what it looks like, right? So how do you become a superstar, right? Because the biggest thing that you want to do is you want to create a superstar factory. Okay, this is really going to be your fast track to Royale. Okay, is what? Is your superstar factory. So right when you get started, when you pick a wow set or a pro set, obviously you get your 300 TPV, so you're superstar eligible. When you introduce two people, right, that get started that have their, obviously their 300 TPV, if they get a wow set and they get a wow set, you're going to earn a $50 bonus times 2, which is $100. Plus now you're a superstar, right? And obviously you have 28 days to get to superstar to earn the extra $200 bonus. But guess what? We want you to do it right away, because if you follow the core global system, right? If you follow the core global system, we're going to put you on the fast track to hitting superstar in your first 24 to 48 hours. See, once you become a superstar and you start sharing the opportunity with people, maybe you introduce a business to 3 more people. Somebody gets a wow set, now you're going to get the double fast starts, right? So you're going to earn $100 for that. Somebody gets a pro set, you're going to earn a $300 bonus for that. Somebody gets a pro set, you're going to earn another $300 bonus for that. So Superstar Factory, right, is going to be the fast track to hitting Royale. And that's really where you want to be. Now, why do you want to be a Royale? Let me tell you why. One of the biggest reasons is because you're going to get Superstar Builder bonuses. This is big. I mean, this is really something that it helps everybody understand that, the compensation plan drives the behavior. And the behavior of this is to help people win. So when you get qualified as a Royale agent or above, guess what happens? You're going to earn a $100 bonus every time someone hits Superstar in their first 28 days. Okay? And so whenever somebody hits Superstar in the 28 days, the computer's going to look for the first upline qualified Royale, and they're going to give that person, guess what? Right? They're going to earn a bonus of $100. So it's going to go, obviously, to your open line. So it's all the people that are, between you and your next Royale, right? So that's a Royale open line. So let's talk a little bit about how to become a Royale, right? Everybody knows that, look, to become a Royale is so critical because all these $100 bonuses, obviously, are going to be coming up to you, and that's big. So how do you become a Royale? Well, the key is this, right? Whenever you have a personal, obviously, you're a superstar agent, qualified, right? And your team has got, obviously, 5,000 in group volume on your left and 5,000 in group volume on your right. And you have a star sponsored on your left and a star sponsored on your right. So what happens is once you hit that rank, you're going to earn, obviously, you're going to start earning those superstar builder bonuses, plus you're going to earn now a $500 one-time bonus for hitting that rank, and then also a Drive Your Dream bonus of, guess what, a $500 a month. So every month you're going to earn a $500 bonus, right, for maintaining that rank. Now, how does that 5,000 in group volume left, 5,000 group volume work over a 4-week rolling period? Let me explain to you guys how the rolling periods work, okay? So let's say that this is your first week, okay, and you just got started, right? And let's say that obviously you're building 2 lines. I'm going to show you 1, but just imagine it's 2, right? So it's very simple. If you were, building a team and let's say one of your teams does 500, the other team does 500 the first week, and let's say the second week, you do 1,000. Now your 4-week total would be 1,500, right? For that team, right? And if at the third week your team does 2,500, now your 4-week rolling cycle would be volume would be 4,000. Now in your 4th week, guess what? If somebody does 3,000, that team does 3,000 in total volume. Now your 4 weeks would be 7,000. Now imagine that's just 1 line, but imagine you're doing that in 2 lines. Okay, it's very simple. Now your 5th week, what's going to happen is the volume that you do. Let's say you do 1,500. That first week volume is obviously going to roll off. So it's 1,000, 2,500, 3,000, and 1,500 for a total of 8,000. Let's say on that 6th week, let's say that your team does 7,000 in volume. So you take the 7,000 plus 15 plus 3 plus 25. Now you'd be at 14,000 for that 4-week cycle. So in a 4-week rolling cycle, you want to be obviously to be a Royale. You all know it's obviously what, right? It's 5,000 and 5,000 on your 2 teams. Now let's talk a little bit about what that looks like, right? Building these teams, okay? There is a strategy for building a binary, and if you follow the proven strategy, we call it the 2/3 strategy, okay? 2-3 strategy, right? You're going to win big. Now I'm going to share with you exactly what that is. This is building you want to start by building your starting 5, right? Your starting 5. So if your sponsor, let's say your sponsor sponsors you to the left, okay, or your sponsor sponsors you to the right, doesn't matter. You and your sponsor are going to have a shared leg. But in this example, I'm going to show you a shared leg to the left. So if you and your sponsor, say you get sponsored to the left, right, now guess what? Your first 2 agents, right, your first 2 people to get started, number 1 and number 2, you want to put them in the shared leg. Okay, you want to put them in the shared leg. So 1, 2, your first two go on that left side shared leg. Now, if your sponsor sponsored you to the right, then guess what? Right? You have a shared leg of the right. You want to put your first two people, obviously, on that right side. So you've got to make sure you follow this, and I'll explain to you why. Then your next three people, right, you got 1 and 2 to the left, 3, 4, and 5 are going to be to your right. Okay? So that's what you want to do. You want to get your starting 5, right? You want to build your starting 5. Now, let's say your sponsor sponsors the next person down to your left side. We're going to help that person do the same thing. 1, 2. Very simple. 1, 2 to the left. And then he's going to do what? 3, 4, 5 to the right. Okay, and you can see how it works, right? Maybe that first person you sponsor, they sponsor their first person. We're going to help them do the same thing, 1, 2, and obviously you guys know what happens from there. So I want you to see that clearly. Now imagine, right, the third person that you sponsored right there on your right, let's say that they sponsor their first agent there, okay? We're going to help that person do the same thing, 1, 2. It's going to be on the right because now they're on your right team. It's very simple to understand, very easy. If you know your left and your right, you're going to do very well in this binary compensation. It's very easy to understand. Okay, that's why I love this compensation plan. It's so easy for anybody to understand. And obviously we're going to teach that person, their 3, 4, and 5 are going to go down there. Obviously that person there, the yellow person's going to go down their left side. And then what are we going to do? Right, same thing. Say the number 4 person that you sponsor somebody there. First thing, 1, 2. So you're driving depth on your outside left and your outside right. It's a very, very simple compensation plan. And if you follow that structure, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Your first 2 to your shared leg, your next 3 to your outside. It's going to set you up to win like never before. But, you know, I hope, Alyssa, that this information made sense to everybody. I hope everybody's saying to themselves right now, man, I got some great value out of this. And I appreciate you, Alyssa, inviting me on to be able to be a part of this. This is so exciting to be able to be a part of this organization because what we're going to do as a team, we're going to be sharing, obviously, next Friday, we're going to be sharing our goals of the team. We're going to be talking more about check match and how to get customers. It's going to be really exciting next week. But I really appreciate you, Alyssa, inviting me on this call. I'm so excited, and I appreciate everything you do, Alyssa, and I'm going to hand it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Tim Herr. I mean, it just makes too much sense. To be honest, Mr. Herr, I've been involved in relationship marketing before, and it was a little bit complicated to me at first. The compensation plan that I was in, it was great, but I couldn't grasp it. I couldn't get it. But when I took a look at the core global system compensation plan, the secret compensation plan, it made too much sense to me. So, when you were first talking, Mr. Herr, you were talking about the big picture, and it just makes sense, the power of 2. And you said something that really stood out to me. You said effort and work. You're going to put effort and work in, so why not put effort and work into yourself? And that really got me. So I just appreciate you breaking this down because it just makes too much sense. And then when you started to go into choosing the right package, I never thought that choosing a right package could really be a hindrance or beneficial to your long-term growth in the company. Like, I didn't even think of that. So I'm so glad that you said that because now I understand that you really have to start successful to be successful. So we want to encourage everyone to get on those sets that are going to help them, hit the position of superstar. And then you started talking about superstar, and my mind was just blown. I've never seen anything like this where you can actually get paid helping other people hit the first position, which is superstar. I mean, a 24 to 48 hour plan, that should be everybody's goal. And I know that it says you have 28 days and everything like you explained, but I believe that it's easier to clean our room fast than it is to clean our room slow. And so same thing goes in this business. I think just from what you're saying is that we can get it done in 24 to 48 hours and we can help tons of people do the same thing. And so I just really appreciate you. And this is so exciting to me. I mean, so many people right now are taking advantage of the core global system and being excited about it and really experiencing the success. So I'm so glad that we're breaking it down today. And the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, that is awesome. 1, 2 on the shared leg, 1, 2, 3 on your own leg. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, if we just follow that system, I know, Mr. Herr, that we are going to experience so much success and everyone's going to be helping each other. And that, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? It's about helping other people. So thank you so much. I mean, my mind is literally just blown right now. So I cannot wait to hear what's next. I mean, it's definitely not over. There's so much more amazing stuff that we're going to be able to take advantage of right now today. So, the next person that I want to bring up is obviously my friend, my mentor, my best friend, actually, and he happens to be my husband, but he's more than that. he's been able to help mentor so many people. And, you know, he's actually mentored by Mr. Tim Herr. So you'll see that the way that this individual communicates and how enthusiastic it is. I mean, you know, success breeds success is all I can say. So I'm super excited to welcome to the call, you know, my husband, who is a passionate individual for the industry of network marketing. So Mr. Jordan, I'll go ahead and bring you out.
Wow. What an amazing training by Mr. Tim Herr. And obviously the value that everybody's bringing right now to tonight's Friday Night Leadership, it's totally moved me into a direction where I've never been moved before. Just to understand the skill sets, the mindsets that you need to have while you're building this business. It's just simply amazing to see Mr. Tim Herr actually share, you know, the value behind the compensation plan. And, you know, he actually showed us how to make money. And to be honest with you guys, when I first took a look at this information, I was like, man, that makes so much sense. How come I didn't think about that? Or how come I didn't read into the compensation plan? And how come I didn't understand it at that point in time? But thankfully enough, we do have great mentors and friends like Mr. Timothy Herr and obviously the rest of the secret community who really do care about us in a major way, and they are really helping us create our reality every single day. And it really excites me to know that, you know, we're all sharing this moment of time with one another to really get better, to really achieve more, to really do more, to really become more. And just like Mr. Tim Herr has taught us, you know, it's all about treating the past like a school and allowing it to teach us. And we're being taught right now on this amazing Friday Night Leadership. And I want to actually go with you guys a little bit over the core global system. When I took a look at this system, when we formulated this system is guaranteed to get you the results that you're looking for in the industry and beyond of network marketing. I mean, this system right here, you know, as we developed this system, we started to see so many people having an amazing amount of success that, you know what, people started attaching themselves to the system, whether they were, you know, working with my wife or working with Mr. Tim Herr or not. So when we took a look at the system and we said, hey, you know what, this needs to be a system that must be duplicated. And if individuals like each and every one of us right now that are taking a look at this Friday Night Leadership event, if each and every one of us makes the decision right now to say, hey, you know what, I'm a part of the core global system. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow the core global system to a T. So I want to make sure that you guys are reminded. Right now, we should not have any distractions whatsoever. Right now is the time that we should be in a quiet location with no interruptions. We should have out our journals. And just like Miss Alyssa said, you should, like my wife said, your hands should be cramped up right now from taking so many valuable notes. I know I saw my wife sitting here right here texting so many great notes about the presentation right now that it's simply amazing. You want to have your journals ready. Remember, whoever takes the most notes will make the biggest impact. And you want to make sure that if people have lost connection, to make sure that they're still connected and they're dialed in right now. And don't let anyone right now miss tonight's training. This is so important. But as we're going to go over and dive into the core global system, one of the main things that we must understand is what events should I use? What events should we use to maximize secret? What events? Obviously, we have a line of events, ladies and gentlemen, that if you just get used to these half dozen things will make 80% of the difference in your business. Mr. Jim Rohn always says, you know what? There's only about a half dozen things that makes 80% of the difference. So you want to spend most of your time on those things. So here's the most amazing part. We've got the Breakfast of Champions call. We've got the Tuesday night BOM, whether it's in a hotel or inside of your home, 3-way calls, webinars, launch calls, launching your business. It's simply amazing, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing how our system works. We have Friday night leaderships, a.k.a. FNL, Super Saturday trainings, a.k.a. SST, and those are also in homes or also in hotels. Well, let's dive into this information because here's the most important thing. The most important piece of the puzzle right now that all of us should understand is the value of our Breakfast of Champions call. The BOC, the Breakfast of Champions call, is one of the most important events because spamming people into this event will maximize business. I call this the Wheaties of Secret. This, in fact, is the Wheaties of Core Global. This, in fact, will help each and every individual that is a prospect, in fact, make a wealthy choice. You know, just like Wheaties, you make a healthy choice. With the Breakfast of Champions call, you're going to be making a wealthy choice. So these calls are Monday through Friday, 7:25 a.m. CST, Central Standard Time. The number's right there, 712-775-7035. That should be obviously, the PIN number is 234-479. If I were you guys, I would do exactly what I did when I first got involved in the industry. And Mr. Timothy Herr was sharing us, my mentor, my friend, was sharing with us the value of these Breakfast of Champions calls. He had us getting on these calls at 6:55 a.m. But here's the thing. He told us to set a reminder. So what do you think I did? I set a reminder. He told us to write it down inside of our planners. So what do you think I did? I wrote it down in my planner. He told us to write all these tools down, all the information for the Breakfast of Champions call down everywhere, so I would never forget it, because you can't trust your memory, like Mr. Jim Rohn said. Before the call, there's personal development playing. What is that going to do for a prospect? What is that going to do for you? What is that going to do for each and every one of us? It's going to help us scope the mindsets of the prospect and also build the mindsets for a new upcoming leader and also distributor, also agent, here in the business. So it's important. It's a 10-minute call every single morning, empowering us to become more, to do more, and to step into our greatness. And it opens up the prospect's vision to obviously stepping out of their comfort zone and stepping into an amazing community like Secret. Here's another thing. It helps you build great relationships. This is a great relationship building tool used to follow up with prospects. My personal opinion, this is what I get all of my close friends on. I get prospects on these calls all the time, because here's the thing. If you can get somebody on a Breakfast of Champions call, it's going to unlock their mindset. It's going to unlock their thinking. So you know what's going to happen. So new ways and new disciplines can be implemented inside of their lifestyles, and they're going to get excited about locking arms with you. So that's very, very, very important. This is also used as a first exposure if you and your prospect, haven't talked in a while. This is a great tool, because here's the thing. You don't want to put yourself into a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where you call somebody up from 3-4 years ago and you haven't talked in a long time, but you want to call them and the first thing you want to talk about is Secret. You know what? It's great that you're excited that you want to expose them to the business, but think about that relationship. And the Breakfast of Champions call will say, hey, you know what? It'll get them mentally prepared for what? The invite to talk about the business. This call can also be used to maximize the amount of exposures until prospects are closed, ladies and gentlemen. This is an amazing, amazing tool, and we utilize this all the time. BAM famming into this event will maximize your business 1,000,000%. The next thing we're going to talk about, the Tuesday night BOM'S. BAM famming people into this event right here will for sure maximize business 1,000,000%. You want to show up to go up is what I love to call this part of the training. Here's the best part about this. These events are actually used to give professional exposures to Secret. This shows people that it's bigger than a living room opportunity. This shows people, that it's bigger than just a Starbucks. Our prospects will see the social proof from the opportunity. Prospects will actually see that this is bigger than a living room opportunity, and it will give prospects a chance to connect to the community. That's what I'm talking about. These Tuesday night events, not only is it just like one grand, sophisticated wow party, but it also helps people get connected to the Secret community and the core global community, ladies and gentlemen. So you want to leverage the leaders and also leverage the system to work for you. That is what this event is mostly used for. I love the Tuesday night BOMs. I remember when I went to my first BOM, what sold me was the testimonial. What sold me was the value, and the testimonial and the value that I heard was from Mr. Timothy Herr when I was introduced to this industry. So that's why he became one of my closest friends and one of my best mentors ever in the world. But let's dive into this a little bit more. The next thing we have, one of the best tools in my personal opinion, it's the push to start, the webinar. BAM famming people into this event will maximize business for a fact. It's the most duplicatable way to access information for your prospects, ladies and gentlemen. These webinars actually give you more time to build a relationship with people rather than actually presenting the business. When you think about this, you know what? If you're an aggressive individual, you just want to build a business and you want to get out there and you want to, touch as many lives as possible, this is the best tool for you. It's the easiest way to leverage the system and get the results, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to share this with you guys. It saves you time. It saves you time so you can take control of your life, take control of your future, take control of your world, and most of all, take control of the marketplace and your business. Using this webinar, ladies and gentlemen, will save you so much time. And here's I'm gonna give you a little tip, a little secret. If you really want to get good at this business and you really want to take this business to the next level, this is a tool right here that you want to maximize, because if you maximize this tool, imagine if you got 10 people to give out 10 webinars a day, that's 100 exposures in a day. And that's more exposures than you as a person, us as leaders, will be able to do by ourselves in one day. Think about it. Would you rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts or 100% of your own? Bingo, jackpot, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So the webinars are very, very important. And as we really understand the value, this is one of the best values ever, ladies and gentlemen, the three-way call number 4. Bam-famming people into a three-way call for sure will maximize your business. And this is what I call ego versus paycheck. This is the ego versus paycheck part of the business. Because why? It's the best training tool. The three-way calls are the best training tool. Let me share with you why. Because when I first got involved in the industry, for example, I would get Mr. Timothy Herr, my mentor, my close friend, on a three-way call, and I would mute my phone. I'm going to give you guys the secret to a three-way call if you're an up-and-coming leader, and if you're a prospect taking a look at this training right now. I'm going to give you the secret to a three-way call. Here's the secret sauce. Mute your phone, okay? Take as many notes as possible, okay? Make sure right here everything is the issue but yourself. Make everything the issue but you. Get yourself out of the way and let your leadership handle business for you. Prospects are able to hear from an expert that can overcome objections. It's another exposure that gets you closer to the close, ladies and gentlemen. And building the respect for third parties starts on three-way calls. The higher the level of edification you create, the higher the level of influence will be. The higher the level of edification you create, the higher the level of influence will be for you and also your business, ladies and gentlemen. It's important for these three-way calls to get your ego out of the way, obviously, so we can build enough value. Like Jim Rohn says, we get paid based off of the value that we bring into the marketplace. If we introduce people to our leaders and we get our leaders on these three-way calls with our prospects, we got to drop our egos, and I guarantee you, the lower you drop your ego, the higher your paycheck will rise and the more value you're going to bring into the marketplace, because you're going to learn how to do great things here with the secret community, also with the core global system. As we move forward, here's a little bit of an example right here how this should be graphed out for you, okay? Here's a three-way calls example for edification continued, okay? Okay, see here, you got to understand, we got to get the people on the phone calls, with the prospects on the phone calls with the expert. But between you and the prospects, we got to understand that there is trust right there. But see, we got to be able to create from the prospects to the expert the respect. And how does that happen? The more edification that we use towards the expert, which is our upline leaders, our upline mentors, or the people that are working with us out in our marketplaces, the more we edify, our experts, guess what? The higher the respect level is going to be for the prospects. And guess what the prospects are going to say? Hey, you know what? I trust you so much because I see you got me in touch with a great individual who is an expert in this business and understands the value beyond measure. Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you that if we maximize three-way calls, I can guarantee you that there will be results right there in place. Number 5, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the fillers. You see, when we're mastering the system, you guys are going to see that when we're mastering the system, it's easy to fall into the gap. Now, when you fall into a gap, you got to be good enough to know, should I get in the founder's video? What is the founder's video going to do? It's going to help, really attach the heartbeat of Secret, the heartbeat of the core global community, because that's what it's founded on. It's founded on the love from the founders. Then if you want to connect somebody to the webinar, if you fall into the gap and you know what, they want to know more about the business, you don't have to present. You can actually plug them into the Secret webinar overview, the core global system webinar overview. And it's a very simple process, ladies and gentlemen. The next thing that we got to understand is we must master the three-way call. Mastering the three-way call, like I just said just a second ago, will help each and every one of us maximize our potential and maximize our time building a home-based business and also grinding out in the marketplace. Wow parties are a great filler as well. Why? Because it's another exposure that we can take somebody to so they can experience the gist of not just the product, but they can experience the community. They can experience the leaders. They can experience the social proof, the success story. It gets me so fired up to understand the value behind the wow party. The launch calls. We haven't even talked about those yet, but we're fired up about those too, and those are great fillers. And also the Breakfast of Champions call. That was a quick commercial to let you know if you fall into the gaps, these are some of the tools that you should use. But here's one of the main things. Number 6, the launch call. And I know for a fact that when you bam-famming people into this event will help you maximize business. Ready, set, go. Boom. You hit that launch button right there to the right of the screen, and you find out that this launch call is only played 3 of the 7 days per week. The launch call is only played 3 of the 7 days per week. So here's what we got to do. We got to maximize the amount of exposures we are getting our new and up and rising superstars, up and coming leaders. They got to make sure that they're on it. And here's the main thing. Prospects who have seen the business can also take a sneak peek at the system. They want to get a competitive edge going, obviously, before they get started and get going. So why not let them understand the value of the system, value of the leadership? Because here's the thing. They're going to get hands-on training with the core leader. You don't have to be at Starbucks for 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen, launching your business, but there's so much value in the comfort of your own phone, own laptop, own home. But here's the main thing. Prospects are able to see the system being leveraged for growth. So they trust the leaders. They trust the system because they're so engaged into the process. And it gets people ready to take off and run towards superstar. Every individual that I've personally, made a phone call to get on to the launch call, they've all gone superstar. Every single one of them. And it gets me fired up, excited to know that each and every one of you guys are understanding the value of the system. The launch call is the most important beat of the system right here, ladies and gentlemen. But as we move forward, we got to understand that there is true value. There's true value in the FNLs, like right now. They're Friday night leaderships. Whether you're at home, whether you're at a hotel, BAM-famming people into this event will maximize your business. I call these nights Friday Night Lights. These events, for a fact, are guaranteed to unlock your potential as a leader in the industry. This is where we grow with the core community. So if you're like, man, I want to be a part of something bigger than myself, Friday Night Leaderships is where it gets done. You grow with the core community so you see what the values are. People of integrity, honesty, good character, morals. People that are saying, hey, you know what? I want to be the best father. I want to be the best mother. I want to be the best leader. I want to be the best leader out here in the marketplace. And this is where you feel the heartbeat of the organization on a Friday Night Leadership. This is where people fully understand the system and they fall in love with the process. And these Friday Night Leaderships, I know for a fact they get people ready to run off and take off towards bronze, ladies and gentlemen. These events get people so fired up to hit the position of bronze that they get fired up and they just get it done. So, like we say, FridayNightLeaderships.com. We want to make sure it's FridayNightLeaderships.com, and this is the 2017 edition of Friday Night Leadership, and it gets me fired up every single time. But most importantly, we got to understand, there's nothing more important than the Super Bowl of our business. The Super Bowl of our business, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact the Super Saturday Training, the SST. Now, BAM-famming anybody into this event will maximize business for sure. Think about it. If you went to the Super Bowl, how excited would you be? How passionate would you be? How much more would you believe if you were a part of an organization that was always going to the Super Bowl? I was thinking superstar, but Super Bowl is what's on my mind, and obviously we're going to create a lot of superstars from events just like this. But here's the thing. This event will give your whole team the knowledge from the best leadership. This is where your team has fun and gets recognized for their efforts, and most of all, the most superstars created in the marketplace. This right here, this event will catapult your business and show you how to take control and dominate the marketplace. I don't think you understand that. This is an event right here that will slingshot and catapult your business and show you how to take control of your business and dominate every single marketplace that you step into. Because here's the thing. This is where you get to build lifelong relationships and share time with the core community. That is what the Super Bowl, that is what the SST, the Super Saturday Training event will help you get engulfed and engaged into the core community, and it gets people ready to take off the run towards Diamond. So if you want to go to Diamond, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you want to enroll and engage as many people as possible and catapult as many people as possible into the Super Saturday Training event. This is an event, it's the Super Bowl of your business, and this is where core leaders are fired up more than ever before and ready to take their lives to the next level. So what does the BAM-FAM process look like? Let me break this down for you. First of all, we got to understand that BAM-FAM means book a meeting from a meeting. Book a meeting from a meeting. That is one of the most important terms that we should all understand. If you take away anything this evening, you take away Mr. Timothy Herr's amazing compensation plan training, and then you take away BAM-FAM. BAM-FAM, because if you get good at BAM-FAM, what is BAM-FAM? We're going to go over that in just a little bit, but that's booking a meeting from a meeting. You're going to understand that this is how you follow the core global system. This is, in fact, how you follow the core global system. And I want to let you guys know the first thing that you got to do is you got to make a list, ladies and gentlemen. The moment that you make a list, everybody's going to be fired up and passionate about their life and about their future. Mailmen, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, mom, dad, uncles, nieces, nephews, whoever it is, make a list. Don't prejudge. And when you make that list, you want to make sure that you use the 24 to 48 hour texting script that's actually on the launch document. that script will 1,000,000% get 100% of the people to respond to you. And here's the thing. If people are fired up and if people are not fired up, we've got a way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you what that way is. Number one, if they say yes, you know what? We get them on the phone call with our upline. We get them on the phone with the leader in the marketplace so they can meet the leadership, so they can really see the core of the community. They can see the core of the community and they can get excited. But you know what? If they're not as fired up yet after using the text messaging script, after you talk to them just a little bit, if they're not fired up, you want to bam them into the Breakfast of Champions call. Why are you doing that? Because if people are not open enough to building a business yet, or if they're not open to an opportunity, you don't want to just put them on a list. You want to engage them and enroll them into a process where you're able to build a relationship. You can talk about what you learn on each and every Breakfast of Champions call, and that's exactly how you build a great relationship. My mentor used to always tell me, you want to reach for people's heart before you ask for their hand. The Breakfast of Champions call will set people up where it's straight to the heart. It's going to get them motivated. It's going to get them fired up. It's going to get them ready to take life to the next level. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got to do. And if it's a yes, after texting the script, you want to say, hey, you know what, let's get a sit down. You want to get a sit down. Sometimes getting a sit down with these individuals is probably one of the best things that you can do, because you're going to be able to really see the heat check of your relationship, the temperature of your relationship. And this is where you find out if they're not ready, you know what, you get them to the Breakfast of Champions call. Most importantly, if they're not if they're not ready for after the phone call with our upline, you know what you do? You get them to the BOC call as well. We already know what the BOC does. It opens the mindsets of the prospects up. Now, if they say yes to the sit down, the next thing we got to understand, if they say yes to the sit down and the upline phone call, then guess what we do? We send them a peaking video / the founders video. That's very important, because here's the thing. If somebody's open to an opportunity, if they're open to the vision of the core global community, they got to know what moves the core global community, because the core global community wasn't moved off of money. It wasn't moved off of vehicles and cars. It was moved off of the mindset. It was moved off the continuity of the relationship that people had with Secret. Knowing Mr. Isaac Ben Shabbat, Miss Betty Perez, and the rest of the amazing founders and partners, this is what really built the core global community, is that founders relationship. So you want to get people engaged in understanding who the founders are. And you know what? If they're not engaged after the founders, send them back to the Breakfast of Champions call to let them get their mind opened up a little bit more. But here's the best part. If they say yes to the founders video and they're fired up and they want to continue on, here's the best flow of the system. Get them on a 3-way call and let them talk to an upline expert again. You know what? And you want to get them fired up with somebody in the market. Why? Because guess what they're going to do? They're going to say yes, and they're going to send them straight to the webinar, which is going to get them exposed to the business. But, in fact, after the webinar, after they say yes, guess what happens? You're going to get them on a call for a 3-way closing call. This makes too much sense. So you go from founders video, yes, 3-way call, yes, I'm fired up to know more about the business. They take a look at the business. After the founders video, they're already sold on the vision of the company. They don't care what it is. We could be selling toothpicks, and they'll be so fired up because they see the hearts, and they do not want a company like Secret to ever, we're going to rise to every single challenge, period. So the webinar is a great way. And then also the closing 3-way call. That's amazing. And if you're not closed, or if they're not closed on the 3-way call, then you know what you do? I'm going to tell you right now. If they're not closed on a 3-way call, then you get them on a launch call. You enroll them. You bam-fan them. You book a meeting from a meeting, and you get them and you send them a sneak peek of what it's going to be like once they get involved into the system. Because here's the thing. If people are already engaged in the process and they're already following the system, even though that they haven't gotten started, you know what that means? They're already in the business. They're already in the community. So all they're looking for is a method of payment. So it's a simple process. So, ladies and gentlemen, no one gets left behind. But if they say yes after a 3-way call, you get them enrolled. You get them enrolled and engaged in the process. And you know what you got to do after you get them enrolled? You get them on a launch call. The exact same thing, ladies and gentlemen. You can go any way with this business. If they say no, there's a tool. If they say yes, there's a tool. You got to learn how to bam-fam, book a meeting from a meeting. And after the launch call for both, ladies and gentlemen, you got to use the event script to make sure that each and every individual gets fired up enough with the text messaging script to say less is more. Less is more. And we got to understand that people are more valuable than money, ladies and gentlemen. People are more valuable than money. So the importance of using the script is so amazing, because here's the thing. we are always going to have a big list of people to invite to these events. And once people are engaged in the process and inviting with the event scripts, guess what happens? We want to make sure that these brand new up-and-coming leaders are, in fact, engaged in the process. And guess what they get to do, ladies and gentlemen? They get to go to their first event, whether it's a Super Saturday training, whether it's a Friday night leadership, whether it's a BOM, whatever it is, whether it's a wow party. It does not matter what it is. As long as we are following the core global system flow chart here, I guarantee that each and every one of us will, in fact, see the most amount of success. Because why? These events and BAM-famming from event to event will help leaders understand the value of exposures, ladies and gentlemen. And after they say yes, you know what we do? We restart the whole process, and we take those 5 leaders and we get them re-engaged in the process for the event, ladies and gentlemen. So what I want to do right now is I'm actually going to get the phone. I'm actually going to get people more fired up because I want you guys to understand the value of this amazing leader, my wife, my best friend, my confidant, somebody that I really love and respect to a T, ladies and gentlemen, who has really helped me catapult my lifestyle, helped me catapult myself as a leader, along with Mr. Timothy Herr. They are my mentors. They are my best friends. These are my confidants in the marketplace and all around the world. And we're just so fired up to be in business with one another. But I want to give you guys a moment to hear once more, again, from my best friend, my wife, Miss Alyssa Jordan. Are you here?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a nice introduction, but I'm literally just sitting here in shock almost of this flow chart. Like this is crazy, amazing. I wish that, man, you guys are so lucky. Anyone who's on this call right now is extremely lucky because you're seeing something that can catapult your business from day one. I mean, shoot, Mr. Jordan, when you were talking about the BOC, it made too much sense to me because, I was thinking about all the friends, all the people that I may not talk to on a weekly, daily basis, or even a monthly or several monthly basis. I was thinking about the people from high school, the people from college, the people I haven't talked to in a really long time. And I was thinking to myself, how am I going to be able to get these people open-minded to bettering themselves, open-minded to an opportunity that could change their life? And what better way, like you just said, than to get them on a Breakfast of Champions call that is all about opening your mind and becoming successful and being the best leader and mother and wife and whatever it is. I mean, that is a perfect tool, the BOC. And then you talked about webinars. I mean, I think in everything that you went over just now, the thing that stood out to me, whether it was the webinars or the BOCs or all the fillers that we can use to expose people to this business, what stood out to me and like a light bulb went off in my head is that, wow, I don't have to do the talking. So you're telling me that I can literally use a script, BAM-FAM to a 3-way call with the upline and let them talk. I can just use a script and then I can BAM-FAM to a webinar. I can just use a script and then invite to an event where somebody else is doing the talking. I mean, that takes away all of my hesitations that I thought that I might have when first getting involved in network marketing. I mean, it's just an amazing process. And when you were talking about edification, when I first got involved in the industry, I didn't really know the power of edification. I didn't know, the value of edification. But now I know if you don't make yourself the issue, your prospects are going to be more likely to answer because, or to be open-minded. Because I remember, my friends from college, my friends from high school, they knew I wasn't the best student. They knew I wasn't the best person. They knew that we went out and, and had lots of fun in college. And they wouldn't be the people to really look up to me, but they would look up to somebody else that has experience. And so that just made too much sense to me. So, man, I'm sold on this BAM-FAM process. I'm so excited about it. And the fact that all of the videos, the links, the tools are either found on your welcome email or on our Vimeo page, which is vimeo.com/core global system. I mean, that's crazy. You don't even have to go anywhere to search for these videos. They're right at our fingertips. So it just makes too much sense to me. And this entire process is really awesome. And I'm super fired up. Mr. Tim Herr has taught me a lot since knowing him. We've known Mr. Tim Herr for a while, but never had the opportunity to work with him. And now that we're working with him, I just feel so blessed. And Mr. Herr, I know that you really wanted to talk about something that's almost like the end all be all. It's what's most important in this entire process, and something that if you don't do this one thing, none of it will work. So I want to go ahead and bring up you, Mr. Tim Herr, to close out the call and talk about this last piece of the puzzle.
You know what, Ms. Jordan, I love what you said, and you're right. I mean, this system is amazing, and it's so it feels like a weight lifted off of everybody's shoulder right now. It's like, oh my God, all I have to do is start the process. It's like a drip campaign. It's like you're marinating. You're marinating all your prospects. And just really get them ready instead of trying to throw people in the microwave. And that's what I think a lot of people do in the industry is they just throw people in the microwave and instead of marinating them and really, season them and really doing it the right way. And I love what you guys are talking about because it's just straight, it's amazing. It's magic is what it is. But, the last piece of the puzzle is really follow-up, and people ask me, they say, how important is follow-up? Follow-up is everything, who are people that we follow up with, right? Prospects that haven't seen Secret yet. That's important, right? Follow up with people that have not seen Secret yet, So just think about it as your list. Who have you not shared Secret with? We want to follow up with them, and guess what? Start this process. VIP customers and retail customers. Guess what? We want to follow up with them. Make sure that they're loving what's happening and loving the experience, and introduce them to more products. Obviously, what do we want to follow up with? Right? We want to follow up with prospects that have been exposed, but are somewhere in that process. Right? They haven't gotten started yet. They're in that exposure process. And where they are, and you just keep moving them along, moving them to the next base, being patient and persistent, and you're going to be able to become a success. Obviously following up with new agents that just got started, making sure that, we get them moving along in the system. And obviously, obviously your existing leaders and your up and coming leaders that are agents. The follow up. That's where all the success is. And I love what Zig Ziglar said. Obviously he said the fortune's in the follow up. And here's something that was in his book that it blows me away. But when you look at it, it's and maybe right now you're not 100% convinced yet. But so let me share with you some facts that are going to make you say to yourself, man, I'm going to become the master of following up. Okay, I'm going to become the master of following up. And I want to share with you some statistics. Okay, that literally I believe will scare, guess what, the living daylights out of us. Right? Is that 48% of network marketing distributors, they never follow up with a prospect. Okay, that means that they just throw the food in the microwave and they just walk away. They don't even go back to see if the food got cooked, right? They're completely they literally don't have a chance in becoming a success. 25% of people, 25% of network marketing distributors make a second contact and then they stop following up. 12% of network marketing distributors only make 3 contacts and stop. Okay? That's wild, right? And it's a staggering discovery, okay? This is a staggering discovery. But only 10% of network marketing distributors make more than 3 contacts. Only 10% make more than 3 contacts. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? Well, let me share with you. That means they're missing out on a small fortune. Why? Because 2%, guess what? 2% of all agents and customers get enrolled on the first contact, on the first exposure. 3% of the people say yes, I'll become an agent, I'll become a customer on the second contact. 5% of agents get started and customers get enrolled on the third contact. 10% of agents get started and customers get enrolled on the fourth contact. And here's what's magic. 80%, this is why I love the system that Mr. Jordan just shared with us. 80% of all the agents get started and customers get enrolled on the 5th to 12th contact. That's why this system is so magical. Right, if you follow that proven core global system, you're going to set yourself up to win. And here's what I know for sure, right? So if you're like most, right, if you're like more than almost half of network marketing distributors, and you make no more than 1 contact, you're leaving 98% of all your income on the table for somebody else to pick up. So you've got to follow up. So how do you follow up, Tim? Well, let me share with you. Be the best part of somebody's day, right? Whenever you call them, they got to be fired up to get your call. Be the best part of someone's day. Connect and touch a heart before, guess what? You ask for a hand. Okay, you always want to remember this. Remember that everybody is tuned in to radio station WIIFM, right? What's in it for me? People want to know what's in it for them. Focus on people's hot buttons, right? Talk about, this acronym that my mentor taught me called FORM. The family, the occupation, the recreation, the money. Here's what I'll tell you about becoming the master following up. You want to seek first to understand, then to be understood. Right? Try to understand where they are and find out what motivates them and what's going to be their reason for being. Right, becoming an agent or becoming a customer. And I always use a cushion, right, with any objection I hear. I know how you feel. I call it the feel, felt, found method, right? I know how you feel. A lot of people felt the same way until they found out, and then I just help them get off that objection. Okay? Care more about the person than the transaction. Build relationships, right? Build relationships. And here's what I'll tell you. follow the process, fall in love with the system, and guess what will happen, right? You're going to get the results. You're going to get the results. So let me give you a call to action here. What do we want to do right now? Obviously, we all know that right now, we want to rank advance to superstar before pay period deadline. Everybody right now, we want to rank advance everybody to superstar before pay period deadline. Anybody right now that's on our team, right? We've got until Sunday night at 11:59 Pacific to sneak them, to help them get in, to sneak into superstar before pay period deadline comes to an end. Qualify for the E4 club, right? You want to make sure that everybody on your team is getting the enroll 4 and pay no more, right? Once they get enroll 4 VIP customers, right, that, they start getting free products, okay? And obviously that's a no-brainer. And then obviously complete your starting 5, right? You're 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You want to complete your starting 5 in the next 7 days. And I know that this information has made so much sense to each and every one of you. Right now is your time, right? You've got to be able to say to yourself right now that, hey, look, you know what? This is it, right? This is my time to become a success. Hey, this is my time to be great, right? I'm going to step up right now, and I'm going to make a declaration in my mind, and I'm going to make a declaration in my heart that nothing can stop me, that nothing can get in my way, that over, under, or through, I'm going to get there. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make my goals, and I'm going to make my dreams become a reality. This is my chance to do something special. My family deserves to win. My family deserves to win, and I'm going to go all-out massive action. I'm going to give it everything that I got. I'm not going to let anything get in my way. If I come into an obstacle, I'm going to go over it, right? If I come to an obstacle, I'm going to go under it. I'm going to go around it. I'm going to go through it. No matter what, I'm going to find a way, or I'm going to make a way. I'm going to find a way, or I'm going to make a way. This is my chance, and this is my time, and I'm going to go all-out massive action today. I'm going to follow the proven plan of action. I'm going to follow the core global system, right? I'm going to follow this system like never before. I'm going all-out massive action today. I'm stepping up. I'm making it happen. I'm going to win big. I'm going to become a success. So with that being said, let's go all-out massive action. Make sure that everybody, we're going to keep this recording up on all throughout tonight. So all the way until Friday night at midnight, we're going to leave this available for everybody to be able to access again, so you can go back over and get more notes, and then obviously we're going to turn it off and make it private. So make sure that right now you take advantage of this moment in time. Let's go all-out massive action today. Let's make it happen right now. Let's make this the best weekend ever. All-out massive action this weekend. Let's expose people right now like never before. Let's get everybody started. Let's get everybody upgraded to superstar. Let's make it happen. God bless you. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for carving out some time. Let's go all-out massive action and win, and I'll see you guys at the top. Let's make it happen, everybody.